I should be now. Yeah, there we go. Right. I've pressed go live now. I've pressed go live. We are, I think, live. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. I've pressed go live now. I've pressed go live. We are. Good morning, Gary. I think live. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. Right, sorry, just putting out a thing on Instagram and TikTok to get people to come and join. Gary's in the chat, Jan's in the chat. We are Gucci. Lee's here, Nordiac's here. Here we go. The lads are here. The lads are here. The boys are back in town. Gary, I just realised who you are. I didn't realise that was you. Gary, is that you that does the Spurs videos on TikTok? I never realised that was you. Mate, you do good stuff. I realised I followed you yesterday. I didn't realise I didn't follow you. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're good. Has everyone got a tea or coffee? Gary, I'm going to talk about that, actually. I'm going to talk about the Man United Stadium thing because I think it's an interesting point when it comes to Spurs. And I want to talk about the Roma Stadium as well. Matty, how you doing? Yeah, Gary, I thought it was. I did think it was. How you doing, pal? I didn't clock until literally just now. Let me just send this link out quickly, and then we'll actually get started. I like the relaxed start to these lives. I don't, like I said, I do think sometimes some people do these, whether it's Spurs fans or not, some fans or like fan channels or YouTubers, whatever, kind of do these lives, and I feel like it's a lot of people like talking at you, and there's no real engagement. I just like having a chat with you guys, to be honest. I quite enjoyed doing these. We did a live stream yesterday after the Vissel Kobe game, which was good fun, and I really enjoyed doing those as well. Adam from the Anglo-Italian Pod, go and subscribe to Anglo-Italian Podcast right now. Actually, do it now. What are you waiting for? Do it now. This is a sad day. Goodbye, Emerson. Exactly. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. There will be mixed feelings, I'd imagine, in the chat and amongst the Spurs fan base with Emerson. I'm relatively new to Spurs content stuff. My channel is based on Call of Duty. Nice. I did look at. I was going to say. I feel like I looked at your channel yesterday and it was mainly COD stuff. But nice, man. Right. I feel like everyone's here. I feel like most people are here that are here. All the familiar faces are around. It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. Another week of being a Spurs fan. Let's get into it then. So, good morning, boys. Tottenham have confirmed the signing of Min-Hyuk Yang from Gangwon FC, subject to work permit and international clearance. He will join us in January 2025. Welcome to Tottenham. There's so much stuff I want to talk about with Yang. Obviously, there is a video on the channel already in terms of what I think he'll bring to Tottenham. You can go and watch that. It's here, this video here. I massively appreciate all your support. Honestly, the support on YouTube over the last week has been really, really like nuts. So I'm massively grateful for it. The videos have been doing really well. You've all got behind them. I think since we last spoke as well, I uploaded this video. The asking Tottenham fans which striker we should sign. That's got some familiar faces in that. That's got Flav Bateman from the Fighting Cock, who, Flav has been absolutely incredible to me. George Achillea. It's got Seb on it. It's got Sonny Snelling on it. And it's got my good friend and my podcast host, Will Hester, who we've got to talk about something. We've got to talk about this in a minute. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for the love. So go and watch that video. Go and watch the stream back from yesterday as well. And while we're on the subject of asking you things, go and follow my TikTok account. nearly at 26k, trying to get to 30k before the Spurs' first game of the season. I hope we can do that before then. And go and follow my second account as well, where I'm posting a lot more stuff over there. While we're on the subject of podcast co-hosts and the great man Will Hester, we've got. Should we analyse this? Should we analyse this? I don't know if Will's in the chat. I think he might be at work. So if anybody, I'd imagine that there is some crossover from people who watch this to people who watch James and Flav for now, right? So I'm sure a lot of people are aware of what the Ainsley is. Let's just break this down. So Will's been at it again. Go on, boy. Let's just turn it down in case it gets... He'll be so thrilled that I'm doing this. That's incredible technique. Like, he tastes the sauce. He gives it a little taste. He goes in a third time. Incredible work from the main man. Go and subscribe to Darren and Doing. You can see it there. We'll be doing a podcast on Wednesday, I'm sure, after the Vissel Kobe, after the K-League All-Stars game. Go and subscribe to the pod. And that is enough of that. Sui, good morning. Stephen, good morning. John, good morning. Not yet, but according to Paul, I just need to agree. Lee Fletcher, what was that about? Sorry. Right, let's get back into enough of the Will dancing. So this was the official statement from Spurs on Min-Hyuk Yang's transfer. We're delighted to announce that we have reached agreement for Yang Min-Hyuk to join the club. Does anybody know how to correctly pronounce it? By the way, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. I feel like that's right. Yang, who turned 18 in April, subject to work permit and social clearance. Yang, who turned 18 in April, has agreed a deal that will run until 2030 and will join us in January 2025. A winger, Yang has progressed through the K-League Under-18 Championships to become a first-team regular at Gangwon, making 25 appearances this season, contributing 8 goals and 4 assists. Internationally, Yang has represented South Korea at Under-16 and Under-17 levels and played at both the FIFA Under-17 World Cup and AFC Under-17 Cup in Asia. Now, Yang will play against us on Wednesday, you're right, yeah. So, I want to talk about this. This was something that interestingly came up yesterday. This was something that came up yesterday when it was announced. Obviously, there was a press conference, I believe, with Yang and the Gangwon FC sporting director. So, Gangwon representative director has revealed that Yang Min-Hyuk chose Tottenham over another Big Six Premier League team. It is true that another Big Six Premier League team that recently won the Champions League had also inquired about Yang. That team had nice plans about Yang's development and had approached us earlier than Spurs. But what I didn't realise at the time was that Yang had his heart set on Tottenham. I even asked him if he wanted to go to that other club, but Yang straightly refused, saying that he only wanted to join Spurs. To make it clear, it was Yang rather than Gangwon who made the choice to pick Tottenham as his next club. I respected the player's wishes. That's class, isn't it? That is quality, Big Paul, Ange Postecoglou's Paul and all that, taking him away from another Big Six club. And look, there are naturally obvious reasons why Yang Min-Hyuk would probably pick Tottenham over other clubs, given the fact that how well Spurs have done to kind of penetrate the Korean market, how big a club we are there. We'll come on to that in a bit. I've got some mad stats to show you, which Alistair Gold tweeted out over the weekend. I'd be very interested to know who the other Big Six Premier League teams were. There have been a couple of various reports on it, which we'll talk about in a sec, but I'd love to know who it actually was. And naturally, I think as Yang said, he said that I would say that he talked about Sonny, and he said that he had a big influence on his decision. He also said that I met Son Heung-Min in Seoul while completing the last part of my medical test for Tottenham. He told me that I'm playing well and should study English diligently from now. I mean, that's very true. Obviously, Son Heung-Min, when he first came over to the country, his English wasn't so great in interviews, etc. But now, he's the captain of the club. He's the spokesperson, speaks brilliant English, massively helps, obviously, in terms of communication as the captain, and he has been able to do that for a while. There is actually a picture, let me see if I can find it, of them two together. I'll do that. Let's have a look at the chat. Can't be Arsenal. My guess would be Chelsea. Where's the picture? There was a picture. There we go. There's the picture. There they are, the boys. I might need to sneeze, lads. I've got a bit of something up my nose. Son Regen says SS26. Hello from Lanzarote. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine over there. Guys, Darren Doing is doing excellent. If you like Ben's content, you love that, go and subscribe. Yes, go and subscribe over there, 100%. Andy MC, mate, can you do a little 5-minute countdown when you start? I always miss start your streams. Sorry, mate. Yeah, that is something I can do 100%. No problem. First Radu and now Yang. Big Ange is unstoppable. Exactly. Ange Paul needs to be studied, says Benadil as well. 100%. So that is class. Those two together there. So there were a couple of reports. Here we go. So this, I don't know who can validate this or not, but Gary's just said it in the chat there. According to a Korean commentator, So Hyun-Uk, another team that was interested in Yang Min-Hyuk was Liverpool. Obviously, it was the quote was a Big Six team that had recently won the Champions League, so that naturally narrows it down to Arsenal. Sorry, not Arsenal. Definitely not Arsenal. Narrows it down to Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So there was talk about Liverpool, and then apparently, according to this guy, Joel Kim, KNT Football, the other team was Manchester City. I understand that Yang Min-Hyuk chose Spurs because City's plan was to acquire and loan to a City Football Group club, where Spurs had first team plans. Also told it's not true that Yang had his heart set on Spurs when City first approached. Interesting. So that is obviously interesting. Yang said, when I first heard about Tottenham's interest, I couldn't believe that a team like Tottenham was interested in me. When I heard that official negotiations had begun, I was delighted. What do you think Ange's Riz is like, says Sui. I think he lays it down thick, mate. Apparently it was City, yeah, Andreas, yeah. Leaving killing two birds with one stone, getting a real talent, retaining South Korean lucrative market. Some problems with that, I don't. Some have problems with that, I don't. I made a TikTok about this yesterday, right? Let me pull it up. So we can almost maybe we can watch it so you can sort of see the point I was trying to get across. What I find so funny about
I don't know if you guys can you hear that
Min-Hyuk Yang is a club signing driven by commercial interest in South Korea, shirt sales, etc. When
this is kind of my point on
is that he turned down another Big Six club to come to Tottenham. Gangwon representative director has revealed that Yang Min-Hyuk chose Tottenham over another Big Six Premier League team. It's true that another Big Six Premier League club that recently won the Champions League, so that could be City.
So we've talked about this already, but this was kind of me giving my thoughts on it yesterday.
That team had nice plans about Yang's development and had approached us earlier than Spurs. But what I didn't realise at the time was that Yang had his heart set
also
on
go and
Tottenham.
follow the TikTok account. Nice one, you can all hear that. It's easier kind of just showing you this rather than explaining it again. So I feel like I got this across.
And naturally, Son Heung-Min had a big influence on that decision. But I find it so funny how some Spurs fans have been really negative about this signing, saying that it's just for shirt sales, saying that it's just for the Asian market when Sonny leaves. It's absolutely not. If another top club that had just won the Champions League identified Yang as a top talent, we should be all over that, and we should be so grateful and excited about the fact that he picked
maybe
us
grateful
over
was
there.
the wrong word, but
and
certainly
naturally,
happy.
There might be reasons why he picks Tottenham over a club like that. He might see Spurs as better for his development. He might have seen the overall exciting project more valuable for him than some other clubs. Obviously, like I said, Son Heung-Min would have had a big influence on his decision. Can he be the heir to Sonny? And look, I'd be lying if I didn't think a small part of Tottenham's decision-making in this transfer process was that they were thinking about retaining those fans in the Korean market.
Of course
they are so valuable for Tottenham. But Tottenham would not have sanctioned this transfer if they didn't think that he was a good player. Chelsea, Man City or Liverpool or whoever that top side that won the Champions League who was interested in him would not be interested in him if they didn't think that he was a good player. And this is only a conversation because he's from Korea. It wouldn't be a conversation when it was Lucas Bergvall or Pat Matasar, etc., signing these young talents. People are only sceptical of it because he's Korean.
I mean, I don't know why I'm agreeing. This is me saying
it's a commercial club signing. And I find it so irritating when people say that these Korean fans just support Tottenham because of Son Heung-Min. Look at this video yesterday. Look how happy the fan was when Vicario gives them the gloves. They are so invested in this team. We should be so proud of the fact that we've got such a strong Korean fan base that want to support and want to get behind the team. The support that Spurs have received.
I couldn't agree more, Ben. I couldn't agree more. Right? I find it so irritating that our fan base see it as like a club signing and it's only been done for shirt sales. That doesn't work unless they're a good player, right? Like you can't go into a signing thinking, well, we're just going to do this as a revenue booster to kind of boost our pedigree in the Korean market, boost shirt sales, all that kind of thing. Naturally, given the fact that we have penetrated the Korean market in such a way that we have their best ever export in terms of footballing ability or sporting ability, arguably their most famous person ever as the captain of our club. Naturally, you there is that, like, I don't know, like there would be part of Spurs' decision making that would be thinking, okay, yeah, this is a benefit to that. But the main thing would be the fact that Spurs have seen a really good player, and also Manchester City or Chelsea or Liverpool, whoever it is, wouldn't be interested in him if they didn't think that there was really big potential there. So I don't understand it. And again, we talked about it on Friday. Lee Fletcher's just put it in the chat there. Was it Friday? Yeah. We don't sign anyone without Ange saying yes to the player. Exactly. Like Ange's, we talked about it in the stream the other day. Ange's awareness of the Korean market and the Asian market, particularly Japanese, obviously having managed there, and he signed a lot of Japanese players for Celtic. You know, if they see a talent there that they think is worth going for, they're going to go for it, regardless of whether they think it's a booster for shirt sales. If Min-Hyuk turns out to be the next Son Heung-Min and is able to boost Tottenham's commercial entities in Korea for forevermore, and he becomes that next Sonny for us and is amazing, then that is great. But that's not why we're signing him. That's not why we're signing him. So it is very irritating. I just think our Korean fans get a lot of disrespect. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. I think there was a lot of it. I remember I made a TikTok about this a few months ago or ages ago when Tottenham played Wolves at home, and obviously Wang Hee-chan and Son Heung-min were obviously both playing. There was a picture that went round of a Korean fan that had like a half and half shirt on, which is mad. Like half and half shirts and stuff like that, and people have issues with that. But you have to realise that, these fans are proud to kind of see like these exports play in the Premier League, and they might not be. She might not have been a Tottenham fan, but who really cares? Just kind of let people do what they want. And people moan about Korean fans, etc., coming to games and all that. They're there to support the team, and I think I use that example of the Vicario thing. And yes, look, people can say what they want about people waiting around for people's shirts and gloves and stuff, but you could hear that. I know it wasn't in Korea, but in Japan, when Spurs played that game against Vissel Kobe on Saturday, you could hear the support in the stadium. It was incredible, like absolutely incredible, like loud as anything. Like, I don't get it personally. I don't get it, and it does irritate me a little bit. Let's go back to the chat before we move on. Is there anything else I want to talk about on Yang before we move on? Let me just get out my tabs. I don't think so. Let's go to the chat then. Oryx Beats says we should be getting Gyökeres and an upgrade on Brennan Johnson. We are one of the richest clubs in the world. Should be getting Bakayoko and Gyökeres and a VDV/Adogi backup. We can afford it. We definitely can afford it, but that doesn't mean that Spurs aren't looking at players like this. An upgrade on Johnson, I think, is unnecessary. Personally, I think Johnson's going to have a big season. That doesn't mean that he's a starter in every single game. And Spurs need another winger, in my opinion, and I think we will go and get that. So I'm not too worried about it. Do we need a striker and a massive winger? Maybe. I'm not sure. Someone says not Gyökeres. Yanis says, do we have some updates on the future on the returns of Richarlison and Adogi? I don't think so, mate. If anything comes in while we're doing the live, then of course I will make you aware of it for sure. Someone in the chat just says Solomon. Hopefully Richie goes. I wouldn't say hopefully Richie goes, but I think if there's money that comes in for him that Spurs can't turn down, then if they want to reinvest that in another striker, then that'd be great. Just because I think that a big thing, and I spoke about this in the striker video that I did on YouTube on Friday, a big thing for Spurs next season in terms of the strikers, that striker position is durability with Europa League games, etc. So yeah, I love Richie. I do love Richie. Also, Richarlison shared my Instagram story, viewed my Instagram story the other day, which is weird. Liston Hines says, I will try to stay away. It was a spider on my screen. Thankfully, I'm not scared of spiders. Liston Hines says, I try to stay away from most social media, TikTok especially. I try to reduce my social media to YouTube only. Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of morons on TikTok. Hopefully you don't think I'm one of them. And YouTube as well, to be fair. But it doesn't matter how... Psycho with a Sword says, it doesn't matter how rich we are, it's how much they are compatible with Ange's system. We need to trust in our manager. Yep, totally agree. Don't buy hype players one good season. We don't sign anyone without Ange saying yes to the player. Exactly. Gyökeres is one season wonder in an average league. I'd be interested to see people's thoughts on Gyökeres in the chat. But yeah, there's a lot of people not massively convinced that he's the right signing. I'm not sure I agree, but I don't know. I think I'd be happy with Gyökeres. Heung-Min Son greater than Richarlison. McSlash, the Jaffin goat. I'm sure McSlash. I'm sure you'll appreciate this. Anyway, right, let's move on because on the Ben Bowman YouTube channel today, we have to have a moment's silence, and we have to pay respects to someone that we've lost. And I'd all like you to just show some respect in this difficult time, because I don't know how I'm going to get through this bit. He's going. Just bear with me, guys, all right? Emerson Royal expected to join AC Milan from Tottenham this week, as reported earlier on. This was last night for Fabrizio Romano. There's one more round of talks set to take place on Monday with AC Milan, confident to get the final green light. After Pavlovic, Emerson could be the next one to join Milan. Now, Emerson Royal will divide opinions. I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question in the chat, and I'm gonna put a poll in. Did Emerson Royal... Okay, right. No, Emerson Royal. Is Emerson Royal a Tottenham cult hero? Because I think he is. All right, this guy. But let me know. Put your votes in the chat. It's hilarious looking at comments of the AC Milan fans in the Emerson YouTube compilations. I know they do not want him, do they? Not here we go just yet. I know. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're getting there. I think that's very harsh to call Richarlison a joke of a striker. Psycho with a sword, big up with a salute. Yes, it's just difficult, you know. It's difficult. It's really difficult, and I hope you guys can get through this with me while we talk about Emerson. So there was also news yesterday. This was from Damasio. The figure the clubs have negotiated is €15 million plus bonuses. Milan wants to complete a total agreement in the upcoming week, with the deal very close to completion now. That was off the back of this news that Milan have increased their offer for the player in recent hours. The agreement with Tottenham is now very close, and that was off the back of this. AC Milan are one step away from signing Emerson Royal. We might get some news during the stream that we might get. Here we go. I don't know. But it's going to be sad to see him go, man. It's going to be sad. I think he was very well liked in the dressing room. Look, Spurs should 100% sell Emerson. Don't get me wrong, right? 53% of people think, 53% of people that think he's a cult hero. Brazilian players in general have been a miss in the Prem lately because it's not as flashy anymore. Yeah, but again, he's a defender in it, so it doesn't really. I get what you're saying, but John Michael says goodbye, Emerson. Here we go. Good player when needed, but no cult hero. Yeah, I get that. I just you know, I put a TikTok about it earlier, like the TikTok dance that he did before the Arsenal game, then got sent off. The no look pass. I mean, how could we forget that? He is he's going to be missed, but Spurs need to move on for sure. Alric Beats is really going for Richarlison in the chat. Richarlison's most goals in the Premier League 13. Crap. I mean, if you watch Spurs last season, I don't really think it's fair to call Richarlison crap. I think he was very good when he actually did play for us. Again, it's just, can he stay fit? Can he stay injury free? Can he stay, you know, clear in his mind, I guess, to kind of perform to the best of his ability, which is something that, you know, we shouldn't take lightly. It's something that he's obviously struggled with his mental health over the last few years, and he's been very open about his battle. And he performed for Tottenham last season. It was just about that fitness. And in an ideal world, I think you sign Richarlison you keep Richarlison and you sign another striker, but I just don't think that's going to happen, especially with the development of some of the youngsters as well. Cult hero in the same way Mr. Bean is a cult hero. It's just one guy calling Richie out. Yeah, I know. Alric Beats, everyone's entitled to their opinion, 100%. And look, not everyone's going to agree. I totally get that. And look, Emerson was shit at times, right? He was rubbish. Sometimes he was rubbish, but, you know, he was also quite good. Sometimes as a defender, right? He's most known for being terrible moments. Some funny moments as well, and some good performances, and a little redemption arc. You know, this was a guy that was cheered off the pitch against Leeds, right? And had own Tottenham fans booing him and stuff like that. He's a guy that I think it's one of those ones where you take the money and just say thanks for everything and move on. Let's talk. There's some striker. Okay, let's talk about this then quickly, because there's people talking about strikers in the chat. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about Djed Spence again, because obviously now with Emerson Royal going, does that massively now open the door for Djed Spence to be that backup? Look, again, someone's put this tweet out, what an influence in Djed. This is from the start of pre-season. It's just a picture of him looking like, not miserable, but look, his facial expressions aren't that different to any other players really in the photo. And then you got him there. Look, he obviously seems really happier. Seems a lot happier. Seems really knuckled down. And again, I noticed it. I don't know whether I've actually got the thing. Was it this? Yeah. Look, Djed Spence, again, front and centre of Tottenham's kind of tweets and stuff like that. He seems involved, seems happy. So, going to be interesting now what happens with him. What happens with Djed Spence. Obviously now Emerson has left. So on forwards then. So Fabrizio Romano said this, I believe, yesterday. It is a possibility for Tottenham to bring in a new midfielder after Højbjerg's exit. I still think they want to do something in the offensive position. I think they will do something in the offensive positions. This is the idea. One more offensive player, one more talented player. I think I don't know whether it will be one more player. I'm not sure. But again, is that offensive player a striker? Is it a winger? Who knows? A lot of people having conversations about Gyökeres in the chat. Let's end the poll about the Emerson cult hero. He actually did win. 54%. My guy. 50 people voted. Look, there's 95 people in the chat right now. Massively appreciate your support. If you could make sure you subscribe and like the stream, that'd be massively appreciated because it massively helps me out. We're on the march to 2K subs. I want to get there before Spurs' first Premier League game. And yeah, you guys are smashing it with the love and the support, so I massively appreciate it. So I think we probably need more than that, but again, who knows what's going to happen. Speaking of money and signings, this came out the other day. We didn't talk about it on Friday because it hadn't broke yet when we were doing the stream. So there was talk a few weeks ago of when Amanda Staveley left Newcastle, there were talks about the fact that she had potentially her eyes set on another exciting project in England, and Tottenham was linked as one of those clubs. So this was broken from the Times the other day, and again, there's been a lot of talk over the last few months about Spurs and a minority stake, etc. Sorry, just having a sip of the coffee. So this was broken. Tottenham Hotspur are in talks to sell a minority stake in a deal that could value it up to £3.7 billion and pave the way for Joe Lewis and his family to sever ties with a Premier League football club. Mummy Staveley, says Sue in the chat. Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy is seeking an investment that values the club at between £3.5 billion and £3.75 billion, including debt. While the terms of any deal have not been finalised, City sources expect Spurs to sell about 10%. The club is being advised by bankers from Rothschild. That's a big investment bank, isn't it, I believe, on the sale. So here, yeah, the financer Amanda Staveley, who brokered the deal for Saudi Arabia's public investment fund to take over at Newcastle, is understood to be among the parties who have expressed an interest in Tottenham. There's also been links in the past to potentially Far East investment from Qatar or Saudi, but also, naturally, given Spurs' ties to the NFL as well, the club is also likely to attract investment from American investors, interest from American investors. So I would not be surprised if something like this happens if this happens maybe in the next year or so. Again, Joe Lewis is getting old. He's obviously got a lot of controversy surrounding him. His family, I think, have stepped in more to kind of look after his stake. I think this is something that will be met with a lot of glee with Tottenham fans. I think Daniel Levy has done so well to kind of build this club up, but I think what remains clear is that he wants someone else to put some money in as well. So that could be happening. That could be happening, and it's come out from the Times, who are very reliable, this kind of stuff. Speaking of development of clubs and stadiums, etc., this news, that's not the right thing. This news broke this morning about Manchester United. Manchester United will aim to build a 100,000-seat stadium should the club go to plans. Should the club go with plans to move to a new Old Trafford, reports The Athletic. This would make it the biggest football stadium in the UK. It came out that apparently their team or whoever that work at the project that are working on the development side of things of the club since Ineos have come in have said that they believe that the way forward is to build a new stadium rather than to redevelop Old Trafford. So that's interesting. Obviously, Old Trafford is bigger than Tottenham anyway, but will it be as state of the art as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, given the money that United have got? I'd imagine so. And this was interesting as well. Has anybody seen this? The new Roma Stadium. So we can watch this video. Hopefully it doesn't get done for copyright. Look at that, right? I wonder if... Look, this is a beautiful stadium. Obviously, they'll be moving away from the Stadio Olimpico. I don't know whether Lazio would be staying there. Looks quite familiar to the Tottenham Stadium, doesn't it, I think? Obviously not the outside too much there. But I definitely think there's kind of been almost, I guess, inspiration from, again, like you look inside with the food stalls and all that kind of stuff. Again, like do wonder if there's been any kind of inspiration from what Tottenham have done in terms of the way. Look at that stand there behind the goal. It's very much kind of got that bowl feel to kind of really keep that atmosphere. Obviously, Roma it was an Olympic stadium before, so that atmosphere is obviously hard to kind of, I suppose, generate in the same way, despite how passionate their fans are. So yeah, that is an interesting one. I do just wonder if they've kind of taken inspiration a little bit from Spurs in that aspect. Some comments in the chat here about strikers. My ideal signing, big if, would be Isak as our striker. I mean, yeah, Isak would be incredible. I just can't see that happening. Would you go for Solanke 26 or Tony 28 if both 40 million? I mean, it's probably Solanke, but Solanke's not 40 million. There's like a 60 odd million pound release clause in his contract, I believe. So I can't see that. I can't see that. Okay, let's move on then. Let's talk about another player that is exiting Spurs, Bryan Hill. Bryan Hill to Girona. Here we go. Deal agreed for Spanish winger to join initial loan from Spurs. Obviously, we haven't got the here we go from Emerson Royal just yet. But we do have it for Bryan Hill. Exclusive details: Bryan Hill will extend his contract at Tottenham with €15 million release clause. Girona have priority to sign him, or other clubs can do it. Up to the player. It seems like he's got his heart very much set on Girona. Now, does this mean what are we saying, lads? What we saying? Mikey Moore, number 11? I tweeted this out and it absolutely banged, by the way. Look, I don't necessarily mean this. It was kind of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Although I do think the sales will go triple platinum. Is Bryan Hill a cult hero? Absolutely not, no. Maybe the worst signing Tottenham have ever made. Not just in terms of player, because he's obviously not a bad player. And don't get me wrong, we've spent a lot more money on players that haven't worked out, i.e. Tanguy and Ndombele, Giovanni Lo Celso, more so in Ndombele. But I think for the deal, of what we did, then, yeah, possibly the worst. Yeah, I'll put that on Twitter. Go and follow me on Twitter, by the way. And like I said, go and watch this video from yesterday. Yeah, Bryan Hill's gone. Only on loan. Again, Spurs fans, I don't think should be too unhappy with this deal, really. Like, I get that we want the money and we want it to go permanently, but I think if he goes to Girona and does well, then I think that it's only a €15 million release clause, so I'm pretty nailed on that they will guarantee pretty nailed on that I think they'll probably trigger that at the end of next season. So yeah. I played golf the other day and I've been bitten everywhere. Any golf tips as well would be massively appreciated because I'm trying to get good, but I'm absolutely rubbish. I hope this means Girona are open to signing post loan. Yeah, Ben, I think so, mate. Eze 11, yeah, hopefully we're saving it for Eze. Brennan Johnson has been chatting about. Someone made a good point actually about how does it work if Hill's only go on loan. He can give up his number, right? He's never going to play for us again. Just give the number up. It's such a good number. Because I believe someone said that when Joe Rodon went on loan to Leeds... Oh, no, who did he go on loan to before Leeds? Oh, it was Rennes, wasn't it? When he went on loan to Rennes, I believe Perisic took his number. So, again, Bryan Hill's never going to play for Tottenham again. Just give your number up, lad. Do you know what I mean? Eze 11, yeah. Neto 11, maybe. Our biggest problem with signing players was getting rid of players, but with Højbjerg, Hill and Emerson going now, we can cook new signs since Spence and Gray will provide cover. Yeah, Spence was mistreated by Conte, potentially. BJ 22-25 goal and assist next season. We will be there. Archie, I'm with you. I'm investor stocks now. I'm with you, bro. Don't need a new right back signing. Yeah, I probably agree with you that. Oh, in terms of Spence. For sure. Right, let's move on from Bryan Hill. Perisic asked for it. Hopefully Johnson or Eze or someone can ask for it. That'd be nice. Rodon gave his number to Perisic. I would not be surprised if Bryan Hill was like, now I'm going to keep it. Little mug. Right, where do we get to? Okay, let's have a bit of a laugh at Chelsea, shall we? Tottenham seems like the only big teams win against clubs from Scotland. Chelsea 1, Celtic 4, Man City 3, Celtic 4. City also lost to Milan, didn't they? And obviously Tottenham beat Hearts 5-1. I mean, Chelsea, what is going on there, by the way? Like, what is going on? I know it's pre-season, but wow. Some of that defending from Maresca ball, they are not happy, are they? And we'll come on to Tottenham's pre-season, the first game in a bit. I want to talk about this. This was some news that broke this morning. After more than 2 decades of association with the club, David Pleat is stepping back from scouting duties. Now, David Pleat is a bit of a Tottenham legend, really. He's been around the club for a long, long time. For a long, long time. Sorry, bear with me 2 secs. Sorry, lads. He was obviously, he was manager of Tottenham. I think he was sporting director of Tottenham as well. And he's now leaving. So he's an absolute legend. Done a lot with some of the younger players, I believe, as well. And he was, massive in bringing Jermaine Defoe to the club. Massive in Ledley King's development as well. So that is a bit of news to touch on this morning. Exactly, yeah. Gary's right. Like, David Pleat was instrumental. He was massive on trying to get Eze, Grealish, and Maddison, Watkins as well to the club, advising on that. He's been a massive part of the club, massive part of the furniture at Spurs, and it's sad to see him go. Sui says Chelsea will be fine. I'm not sure. I think he's just stepping back from scouting duties. I don't know whether he's actually leaving the club. Should we read the full statement? After more than 2 decades of association with the club, David Pleat is stepping back from his scouting duties. Daniel Levy said, "I should like to thank David for his contribution over so many years and in so many ways. He had and continues to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the game and players, which he does have. I know he will continue to enjoy watching our games at all levels." David Pleat said, "Football is my life and continues to be. Spurs has been a huge part of that. However, the game and its methods changed, and it's now time for me to step back from my scouting role. I look forward to watching the club have great success in the coming years. I hope to continue my association with the game." David's first involvement was came in May 1986 when he was appointed manager. In his debut season, he led us to a 3rd place finish in the old First Division and reached the FA Cup final. He departed the club in October 1987. He returned in 1998 as the club's director of football. He then stepped in as caretaker manager on 3 occasions. In September 1998, March 2001, and September 2003. Following the conclusion of his time as director of football in May 2004, he once again returned in 2010 as part of the club's scouting department. So thank you for everything, David. Right, like I said, we did a video on the channel breaking down the Vissel Kobe game. What we learned from Tottenham 3 Vissel Kobe 2. I stream those live, so come and get involved. Usually the day after games. And obviously Tottenham won 3-2. A lot to talk about. We went in detail into the game yesterday, so we're not going to go into too much detail. Obviously, what did we learn? Dane Kulusevski played through the middle. The goals were scored by Pedro Porro. Lovely goal from him. Son Heung-Min obviously got his first goal of pre-season. And Mikey Moore got the last-minute winner. Of course he did. Mikey Moore, that guy. What a player, man. Special talent. Was so good in the game as well. Involved in a hell of a lot. Going forward, super exciting. And again, it's just important to remember he's doing this. He's just 16 years old. Alfie Devine, I thought, was really good. Also, guys, there is... let me just see if it's out yet. Bear with me 2 seconds. If you want to hear more about Mikey Moore, a lot of you guys who... sorry, that's not the right podcast. Hang on, bear with. A lot of you guys who have followed and listened to my stuff for a long time will know that... where is it? Here we go. A lot of you guys will know that I'm involved with the Fighting Cock, do podcasts with them, and me and Flav also do a podcast called The Lab, and there is a new episode out now, which we recorded yesterday, which you should go and listen to, what is so special about Mikey Moore. So go and have a listen to that. That is out now on Spotify and all your good podcast platforms. So he was great. He was absolutely great. Dane Kulusevski, I thought, was really good in that central role. Again, we kind of went into it in more detail on the stream and in the video. So go and listen to my thoughts on that there. Is that something that he could do long-term for Spurs? I don't think he's the answer, but I think it's definitely a potential solution to make changes in-game, but also to from the start in European games, etc. And Tottenham have now landed in Korea as well. And the reception that Tottenham have got since landing their career has been absolutely exceptional, absolutely crazy. You kind of it's easy to take for granted the level of support we get over there. And I wanted to touch on that. I mentioned it earlier, but Alistair Gold tweeted this out the other day, or put it in one of his articles, I believe. So when so obviously Tottenham are playing the K-League All-Stars this Wednesday, and we play against Min-Hyuk Yang will play against us. So when we played them a couple of years ago, Tottenham's game against the K-League All-Stars was streamed online by 2 million people, making it the biggest streamed sports events in Korean history. Tottenham are the best supported overseas club in South Korea. The population is 51 million, and of that, 12 million say they're Spurs fans. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, again, like I said, it's very easy to kind of take this level of support for granted. John Michael says Decky needs to play in the middle, much better than he is out wide. Anton Pollard says Bergvine is a Rolls Royce of a player. I presume you mean Bergvall, but I kind of agree. Archie, have a good one, mate. Big Dog Flav, exactly, Ben. And yeah, they're already getting down to work. That is it's a hell of a seven. How many players is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a hell of an 8-side team, that, isn't it? No goalkeeper, but obviously Mikey's shining. Tottenham's teenagers absolutely thriving. And again, I wanted to talk about this. So Luka Vuskovic made his debut for forgive me, I can't actually remember the name of the team that he plays for. I made a TikTok video about it yesterday, and it's completely gone out of my head. If anybody knows in the chat, Westerlo, that's it. It's Westerlo. Just have a quick Google. Where are we? Had a monster debut. There's a compilation going around on Twitter. Go and give that a watch. He played 90 minutes, kept a clean sheet, and I think in a 3-0 victory, 14 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 tackle, 4 out of 5 ground duels, 1, 5 out of 5 aerial duels, 1, and 100% successful dribble attempts on the deck and in the air. The guy is a monster, absolute monster. Go and watch the compilation. He just ate everything up. He was incredible. So go and watch that. A real talent on our hands. And again, when you look at the young players that Spurs have got, Moore, Vuskovic, Yang Min-Hyuk, Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, George Abbott, Tyrese Hall, Will Lancashire, Alfie Devine, Ashley Phillips, Alfie Dorrington, Jamie Donnelly and Luca Gunter, all under the age of 20. The future is incredibly bright. And here, again, we talked about whether Yang Min-Hyuk can be that successor to Tottenham, to Son Heung-Min at Spurs in the long term. It's either going to be him or Mikey Moore playing on that left-hand side. I just think... So we talked about this on the lab yesterday in terms of that Timo Werner signing, about the fact that it actually probably makes more sense now in terms of just giving Mikey that next year to just blood himself in a little bit more. And by the time next year comes around, Werner will be gone and Mikey Moore will have that left wing spot as that kind of backup and pushing for first team places. Hopefully, again, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But yeah, so excited for Mikey. And the final thing I wanted to talk about before we go, Harry Kane turns 31 yesterday, full senior career stats, 643 appearances, 406 goals and 98 assists. Someone put a tweet out about this yesterday saying some people will tell you this doesn't matter because he hasn't won a Carabao Cup. I think it's easy to forget the insane numbers that Harry Kane has put up over the years. And obviously he's 31. Top comment there, 31 with no trophy is ridiculous. Hopefully he can get that. Let me just check quickly before we end the stream. Thanks again, you guys, for watching. I just want to check if there's nothing... if anything's sort of come through in the last 45 minutes that we need to talk about. I don't think so. Lucas Bergvall has said the goal is to win the league. I rate that. Of course it has to be. We want to qualify for the Champions League and the goal is to win the league. I also will, for anyone that is interested... later on, just a couple of plug a little things. Like I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow the TikTok. I will be on Holly's Hotspurs live tonight. It was meant to be me, Billy T and Holly, but I think Billy T's taken some compassionate leave for Emerson leaving. So it'll just be me and Holly at 7 p.m. So come and join us over there on Holly's channel. And also, lads, I'm very excited about this. It should be very good fun. JLA Twitter space. Where is it? Where is it? 20 Premier League fans will battle it out with their hot takes and transfer knowledge until there's just one fan standing. Set a reminder for the inaugural JLA Royal Rumble Twitter space hosted by your boy, Ben Bowman, and I will also be representing Spurs. There is a big list of creators that are joining this. We've got the Back in the Net Bournemouth podcast. We've got Alex Moneypenny for Arsenal. Luke Robinson for Villa. We've got the Brentford Hive. We've got Ryan, I believe he might be for Chelsea. We've got Ollie for Talk CPFC for Palace. Obviously, you guys will probably know Ollie. Tactically, Matt. I'm not sure who Matt supports. Benjamin Bloom for Ipswich. We've got me, obviously, for Spurs. Double A for Man United. Saint Rob for Southampton. Jamie Segal for West Ham. I'm not sure a lot of you people will know Jamie. So yeah, make sure you go and tune in. That'll be tomorrow. I think it's 7:30. So guys, thanks very much for watching the stream as always. I'll be live again tomorrow morning, chatting all Spurs transfer bits and any other business and any other news. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video. And peace up the Spurs. Thanks for all the love.